Hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there. Hey to everyone. It's lunchtime in certain parts of the country. Welcome to this webinar we have. We will get going. We're sticklers for being on time as much as we can. And we know everyone on this webinar is also very busy too. So first of all, my name is Emily A. Hay, and welcome to this webinar that we have thanks to Kaylin of the South Houston Moms. If you have your Zoom on and you can see our faces, there's a couple of us here from Team Hey there. But if you are here to listen to a webinar to learn about how to really turn some social media skills into a revenue generating side gig, and you heard about it from Kaylin, you're in the right place. So welcome, and we thank you for your time. Kaylin, is probably the best time for me to just, again, thank you voice to voice, face to face for all the work you did to help us really get the word out there about this opportunity.
You're welcome. Well, I just think it's so important that, us as moms have options. And so, anytime I come across an option that I feel is something that, is universal and can be like scaled up or scaled down and is flexible, then it's something that I definitely want to be able to share with my audience. So for all of y'all that are here from South Houston Moms, thank you for coming. And I think you'll really, really enjoy this informational. So of course, I guess, Emily, if anyone has questions, they can always just, I don't know how you
Mhm.
set that up or whatnot, but I'm sure there will be a time for questions if y'all have them. So thanks for coming.
Of course. Yes, yes. Thank you again. And by the way, I love the housekeeping note. We are recording. We'll make sure that everyone watches this, gets this recording, live or the recorded version too. Chat will have it open. We've got Kelly here from Team Hey There. You'll get to hear from her, and Allie. So please feel free to ask us questions as we go along. But we understand, it's like I said, it's lunchtime. You might be multitasking. We're all busy people. We understand. So feel free to have your camera on, camera off. We will get going. And really, as I share my screen, just again, we invite you to really bring an open mind and say, I think I kind of know about ways to work flexibly, or I think I understand, what you mean by a side gig. But really, we're here to zero in on being a social media manager. It's a really viable way to take the skills you already have and turn them into, as we say, a revenue generating side gig. Spoiler, it can be scaled up to be more than just a side gig, but we won't get ahead of ourselves today. So as I jump in, we'll make a couple of intros here. Again, Kaylin, thank you. Kaylin of South Houston Moms. So excited to have invited all of your followers here today. You do such awesome work in the Houston area. And we, on the other hand, are a little further north. So I had mentioned, again, my name is Emily A. Hay. I'm the founder and CEO of Hey There Social Media. And my background for the last decade plus has been running a social media agency. So I'm passionate about social media, but I'm not here just as a casual enthusiast of social media. I've run a business with a number of team members, clients across the country. And if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have had an entrepreneurial path. So I really speak to you today as someone that followed social media as the freelance vehicle and turned it into an agency. I have my colleague here and partner of Hey There, Allie Spitzer. So Allie, as you can see in her notes, we've got our 10 plus years automotive retail. Allie, tell us a little about yourself, please.
Yes. Hi, everybody. And thanks again, Kaylin, so much for putting this together. We really appreciate it. My background is, like Emily said, mostly in automotive retail. I actually started out in a social media role in marketing online. They really didn't know what they were doing back in 2007 when it came to their website and all the things that come along with it. So I kind of rose through the ranks in a very untraditional way, and was able to, long story short, by the end of my time, be in charge of all the day-to-day operations for nearly, at the time, 40 different franchises of dealerships that spanned 3 different states, 1,000 plus employees. And one of my main tasks, besides managing the people, the human element, was managing all of our marketing budgets and our marketing partnerships. So I have a ton of experience with great partners, great social media managers and agencies and companies, and the not so great. So I come from 2 different perspectives of passion. I know what it looks like to succeed for your clients in social media, but also as a mom of three in auto retail world, there wasn't really such thing as maternity leave. And most of the time I was the only woman in the room. So from a personal perspective, being able to be part of something that offers women the opportunity to be professionally fulfilled on their terms while managing the most important part of their life, their children, that's what gets me out of bed every day. So I'm happy to be here.
I love that. Thanks so much, Allie. And Kelly from Team Hey There. Kelly, I know you don't have your picture on here because we're going to hear from you in a little bit, but I at least want to welcome you. And if you'd like to just say a bit about yourself.
Sure, no problem. Hey, everybody, welcome. So happy that you're all here. My role in Hey There is to connect anybody that is interested in learning more about our training, as well as I am our connector between the clients that are looking for social media managers and the women that have gone through our program. And I actually took the core training myself a few years back. I was just at that stage of life where I was looking for a professional pivot. I have 4 children in a 10-year age span, and I needed to have a full-time career opportunity, but still have a flexible lifestyle for my family. So I have been through the training, and I also have social media clients myself, and just thrilled to answer any questions that you might have. And so thankful that this is an amazing option for women.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And again, I know I'm sharing my screen and I keep my thumbnails off to the left to keep us on task here, but by all means, if you have a question, pop it in chat. And Kelly, thank you for keeping your eyes on that.
Yeah.
So today, what we have promised you in this short time as we lunch and learn, we're going to make sure that you know just lay of the land. Like, what does the social media industry look like today as a flexible worker, as a side gigger, as a side hustler, whatever term you'd like to say. We also are going to, as we say, spill the tea. You know, we'll get into the juicy question that we get most often, and that is earning potential, as well as how is this different from being a VA? I feel like a lot of people want to know that because VA, virtual assistant, is almost always seen in this side gig category. We will make sure to give you well, how do you get into this? Okay, so I feel like I know enough about social media, but what are my next steps if I want to start taking on paid work? And we'll make sure to illustrate that for you through real life examples and some transformations of women that have done this work, that work all over the country. And we'll make sure to leave you with next steps. So, okay, as we get into this, the lay of the land. So we just want to remind you that it is not too late to get into social. And to be honest, if you're listening to this webinar, then you obviously heard about it on social media, and I'm sure you know more than you might realize. On the flip side, you might feel like, I already know everything I would want to know about social media. Maybe you've helped your friends. Maybe you're the go-to person to do social media for anyone that has a business in the area, but you still are kind of putting it all together of, well, how can I turn this into something that I can make money doing for other businesses? And so you're telling me that businesses still need help with social? Well, the answer to that is yes. So social media as an industry is certainly still growing. And I know this slide is a bit of an eye chart, but we're highlighting an article that Allie and I wrote for Fast Company, where we said, not only is social media a great industry to get into today, but freelancing is a great way to dip your toe into this industry because freelance is mainstream. And I could probably spend half an hour just talking all about the greatness of freelance, but we at least want you to see that freelance is being an entrepreneur. Freelance is being a small business owner. If you are a social media manager who is self-employed, you are all of the above. So we know that businesses are increasing the freelancers that they bring on, and we know that businesses are still struggling with social media. So if you needed convinced that this is a viable path, then we hope that you're already convinced now. All right. So as I talk a little bit about the benefits, so this slide is really to just talk about lay of the land. Again, what exactly do you mean by social media manager? So when we say what we're referring to, so we're literally talking about content creation, so writing content, writing posts, publishing videos, creating the videos, writing blog posts, thinking a little outside of just Instagram and TikTok, but Google reviews. And it's when you start really thinking like, well, those aren't the social networks that might come right to mind. If it touches someone's social media online reputation, then it is something that they need social media help with. I'm just getting the notice that my internet is unstable. So I'll keep talking unless anyone interrupts me that they can't hear me. So back to, again, the type of work. So being a social media manager, those are just some of the things that we're talking about. Other work, when we think of social media, consulting work. So businesses that might say, well, we have someone that can do our social, but we're really struggling for a strategy. We really feel like they could be doing things a little bit better, a little bit differently. So that's the kind of expertise that we're talking about bringing to the table. And then the other side of that is why that work is so great. And as I mentioned on the previous slide, it is such an in-demand field. We joke that you really aren't going to go somewhere where someone isn't looking for someone that knows more about social media. You get to talking about TikTok or you talk about Yelp and someone always has a question. Someone always knows someone that needs help. So it's just truly in demand. And as we said, it's growing. The flexibility piece, that's where we talk a lot about this for moms, caregivers, people that want flexibility in their life. It's truly flexible work because not only can you do it from your phone, from your home, but you can really do it on your schedule. So we know that a lot of times people have the ability to work from home, but they still might be stuck within like a 9 to 5 window. But social media is truly flexible work. The ramping up and down, the wide range of services, and the setting your own rates all really go together because, as Kelly had mentioned, there's phases of your life, there's seasons of motherhood where you just have more or less time. And so when you work as a social media manager, you can look ahead and say, well, I do have a season where I have a little more availability and I could take on additional projects or additional clients. So not only can you ramp up or ramp down your workload, but you can also, as I mentioned, offer different services. Maybe you need to just hunker down and be the social media manager, create the content, publish the posts, and just not be involved in any other capacity. But maybe you say, I don't have time to do that day-to-day work, but I do have time to crank out a strategy and hand it to the client and be done with that. So you can not only ramp up the workload, you can ramp up or ramp down the services that you choose to offer, and you set your rates accordingly. Okay. I'm going to jump now. Like we said, we don't want to hold out on the juicy answers, but what we have here, so a couple of FAQs. I mentioned, gosh, between Allie and Kelly and I, the people that we talk to, we hear a lot of questions about, okay, well, I've heard about being a VA, so a virtual assistant, and you're talking really focused on being a social media manager. So what's the difference? Well, one of the shortest answers is being specialized. So if you think about maybe a VA can be a broader generalist and offer a lot of different services. A social media manager is very specialized in the social media marketing field. I just talked about how there's a lot of different pieces that go into being a social media manager. But again, you are living and breathing everything about social media, metrics, learning ads, doing strategy work. It's just very specialized. And so that would be the shortest answer I would give for the difference between being a VA versus a social media manager. And from an earning potential, this ties in with just doing VA work. Whenever you have a specialty, you can offer services at a higher rate. So again, this is not all you have to do is call yourself a social media manager and all of a sudden you can charge more. No, there is definitely the need to have a portfolio, get some clients on board. We can talk about that. But I talked about these consulting projects or strategy projects. If you are a specialized social media manager, that's where you can come in and offer those services. While again, a VA might be better helping a solopreneur with a number of tasks, and maybe social media is just one of them. Just a little bit about how much you can make. So again, to level set, we are talking so much about being an independent contractor. So again, side gig friendly. If you are working flexibly as a freelance worker, you will generally charge clients based on the project. Some folks will choose to work hourly. But if you start to think, well, what can I make? We have this number here just talking about annual salaries as an employee of a company in the space. But you can see and start to crunch some numbers that if you work on a couple of clients, whether it's retainer or hourly, you can really start to control what you earn. And so we put some numbers here for you to just get an idea of maybe the smallest client, a $500 to $750 a month range, and then going on up from there based on the business's needs and size. I know I'm talking a mile a minute. Allie, Kelly, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, it's just, it would be a wonderful thing if we could give one black and white answer to that question of how much can I make? It completely depends on the season of motherhood and how much time you have, and that can change. So that's the beauty of going back to what Kaylin said in the beginning. You can cater to what your needs are to make this profession work for you. So we have women that are looking to hire their own subcontractors for growing their own businesses. And we have some women who manage this as a side gig. So it's anywhere in between. Sky's the limit.
Thanks so much, Allie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a couple of snapshots. So let's again talk about, okay, so I know what work we're talking. I'm kind of seeing how I can earn here. Let's show you some women that are doing this work. Again, it's a wide range, across the US are the women that we work with, and all sorts of family and household configurations. The neat thing with doing social media as a side gig is it doesn't matter what your professional background is. Of course, you have social media skills. You can upskill and be able to build on things that you've done in the past. So maybe you have a little sales experience, or we've worked with women that have been medical assistants, women that have worked in communications or marketing or PR, and really just want to, as I said, upskill, add an enhanced skill set, get better at something, get focused on something so they can charge for doing that work. So like I said, this side gig can very quickly turn into taking on more work. We have also seen women that start this as a side gig, pick up enough experience, and then it turns into looking for a full-time role at a company. So it can look a lot of different ways. Now this, again, so happy to have Kelly here. This is just a couple of more real life examples. I know there's a lot to read here, but just to show you again, we worked with women that have had a resume gap. That happens, when you step into that full-time role of caregiving, unfortunately, your professional resume can get backburnered. So we've worked with women that have simply used being a social media manager as a way to get themselves moving. And that was the case with Sansari here. Layla, as you can see, she was someone who already had experience with freelance work and had a PR background, but knew that her clients were saying, well, I'm going to need you to do my posts as well as help me get traditional PR. So she got into social media as a layer to her current offerings. And Kelly, thank you so much for telling us a little bit about yourself, but did you have anything to add?
No, I basically just, I get the privilege of working with so many different women that come through our program that come from so many different backgrounds. So I just wanted to add that it is so amazing that I've had, the opportunity to see women that are coming from all different facets of life and careers, backgrounds, experiences, passions, skill sets, and be able to go through our training and then also then turn that into, typically a social media business, but with different offshoots, like Emily said. And it's really neat how many different things that all of our women have been able to do to take this upskill and then run with it. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Kelly. Awesome. Okay, so I'll zoom in here on a transformation. So as you read this quote from Kimberly about that she has become her own boss and she is a social media manager. So she's someone that we worked with. Spoiler alert, her review is actually a couple of years old now. Not only did Kimberly leave dental assistant world and get into social media, she is someone who really got excited about the creative side of social media and started learning Adobe. If anyone's heard of Canva, we all love Canva, but Kimberly got really into Adobe. She has then gotten into podcast production. I mean, think of podcast hosts. Every podcast host needs to have a strong social media presence. So Kimberly started to just organically niche down into offering social media management services for podcast hosts. And then she started saying, well, if I'm listening to all of this content of yours and I'm making your reels and I'm making your stories out of it, then I can learn production too. So she's someone who did exactly what Kelly just said, just offshoots that just happen when you get going. But she literally went into this saying, I don't really know what to expect. I mean, I know enough to be dangerous on social, but let me learn more and let me get going and do the hard work to be able to turn into a business. Okay. So again, as you're starting to think like, okay, this sounds great, but I'm so busy right now. We just want to point out that no perfect time. You know, there's just no perfect time. So I'm probably preaching to the choir if you're busy professionals with caregiving responsibilities, or again, if you're starting to think, well, I want to get into something, but I don't have a ton of time to dedicate to it. So of course, this is work that you can do flexibly, but you can also learn it flexibly too. So just consider you're here, and we love people that follow their curiosities. Okay, so these next two slides, so if you're thinking, okay, I'm convinced, I can see how this is a viable business option, how can I really set myself up for success? Well, that's what Hey There Social Media does. And we offer core training as our main program. This is a very busy slide, and if you're looking at it here, just know that this is our full comprehensive program that we've been offering for a number of years now. We're proud to say it's proven because again, we've followed and studied and continue to work with the people that have gone through our program. Hey There Social Media did a collab with the local Moms Network company. That's how we had the privilege of meeting Kaylin. And thank you, Kaylin, for going through our program that you're looking at here. What I would say to anyone that is trying to make sense of all of this information, the wheel that you see, those are what we call the modules. And those are the modules that you're going to be taught in a 6-week format. There's live training. So if you are someone that says, you know, I'm only going to learn this if I'm held accountable, we teach it live on Zoom. But if you can't make all of those because, you know, life, we do record those sessions and you can always watch them whenever it works for you. Kaylin, I think I don't want to speak for you. Did you do a little combo? I think we had you live sometimes. Did you watch some recordings?
Yes, I did a combo. So I was there on the live recordings, probably maybe like 60% of the time. And then the rest I kind of did on my own when my kids were asleep or something like that.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
that's, like I said, that's what we want. It's flexible work. You can learn flexibly. So, so again, we are happy to go through the details of this with anyone that has questions, but just know that when you take this core training program, you can go into it and say, so I'm going to not only learn the social media specialty, which are really those turquoise modules, but the coral, the top half of the wheel, those are more freelance general. So again, it's not just bells and whistles of all the social networks. It's, okay, well, how do I prospect? You know, how do I do a proposal? How do I onboard a client? How do I renegotiate a contract? So there are a lot of pieces besides just knowing the latest and greatest for the social networks. And that's how we've designed this program. So off to the right, you know, you see it's a tuition-based program. Like we said, live or recorded, however you want to consume the information. But when you complete the program, not only will you have the ability to have a certification, but we joke about your journey with Hey There starts then. And what we mean by that is we have a supportive community, we have ongoing trainings, we have options if you want to be plugged in and even get job leads to be able to continue to do this work. That's what the Hey There Social Media Core Training Program is all about. Allie, anything to add as I head to the next one here?
No, I think, you know, it's just important to know that this option is available. And one of the things, the peace of mind of knowing that where you are now versus taking this interactive course, 6 weeks later, you will be certified. You will have leapfrogged a ton of trial and error and frustration and feeling alone. It is a truly, truly invaluable experience, and it's great to be able to go through it with the women that have graduated, that are in our membership, watching them thrive after this. It's a huge motivator.
Thank you so much. And again, who doesn't love a good deal? So of course we've got good promo codes and all the things you would need, you know, that is there, but by all means, we would be happy to talk to you if you feel like this is something of interest. Now this next slide, so bringing it live, just in September, we rolled out Core Training Lite. So we took all of the essentials of the core training that I just told you about, and we put it in a more self-paced version. So just know that this is literally an upskilling program in a box. The core training, as we just talked about, is an online experience. But if you are, you know what, I just need a light version. I just need to dip my toe in the water and be able to learn this information at my own pace, read it, come and ask questions. That is at a much lower price point. And so that's what you'll see is Core Training Lite. We have a good promo code. Again, thank you, Kaylin, for offering that with us. So we'll make sure that you get the 20% off and the free shipping. But with Core Training Lite, not only are you getting that physical box delivered to your house, it has the manual of all of the curriculum that we talked about. And you're going to be able to hop online and ask us questions. The support program, one solid month of it is included with this. But again, it's optional. And if you go on a few months and say, really, I need a little more help, I have some more questions, it is completely available to you. And the certification piece, we know that that was something that has proven over and over to be valuable to the people that have graduated, to be able to say, hey, I've got something I can throw in my LinkedIn. I've got something that can set me apart from all of the people that proclaim to be a social media manager. So that is Core Training Lite. So you can certainly take a look at that on our site. Now, as we wrap up, we do want to make sure to offer some time if there are any questions. I'll see if Kelly's had anything through chat. But like we said, the point of our webinar today, and thank you again, Kaylin, was to just open your eyes to an opportunity that you either didn't know existed or you didn't exactly know how it could look for you. So if you feel excited or interested in being able to make this a side gig, walk before you run, then we are thrilled. We've done our job. If you then say, okay, I'm ready to be able to be serious about getting into this, that's why Hey There Social Media exists. I mean, that is our company's core offering, these training programs and ongoing support. But we know that it requires a conversation. So if you scan this QR code, of course, it'll take you to our site. But on our site, you can schedule a Calendly call with us. You can reach out, Instagram, email, however it looks. We love having conversations with people that just want to hash out how this could look for them. So as I go to this last slide here, again, I'm watching our time because I know this was a quick lunch and learn. Kaylin, thank you for this lovely, lovely testimonial that we have. Did you have anything to add or any context at all?
No, actually, I really think that you covered everything. As far as being a participant in the training, that perspective, I just thought it was so thorough, and I really, really appreciated that. By the end of the training, I felt like, okay, I can do this. And if I have questions, Emily and the team was just an email away. Plus, there's this huge group of other women who just went through this too, or have been through it already. So I feel like I have an army behind me to help me get going. And so I think that's kind of important to know to anybody who's interested in taking training, because sometimes you just need that extra boost and that push, and to have support behind you can really help you become successful. So that's just always nice to have, and I'm so glad that you guys offer that.
Thank you. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
Thank you so much for those wonderful words. And again, pat on your back. You are someone who already was digital marketing and social media savvy, that you use this to build upon. So it's never going to hurt you to continue to sharpen your skills. So whether it's a full, turn right or just a slight pivot, we're happy that you had a great experience with it. So all right, let me head to chat real quick, and I'll stop sharing my screen and just see. I don't know if Kelly saw anything in chat that we need to look at. Oh, okay. Kelly was just mentioning that if anyone needed help, we're here. So we will let everyone go unless there's any last questions. But thank you again for all of your time, and heytheresocialmedia.com is the site to head to. Schedule anything with us. And Kaylin, we really appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you
Stay
so much.
cool. Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll try.
All right. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye.